Welcome. This is for people who are curious about their mental health, their psychology, their inner experience. And in this episode, I'm going to answer the question, how do I calm my nervous system? I am answering every question actually I pose in life from the perspective of the nervous system. And this is a very good question. And if you ask yourself that question, that means you're onto something, because you already understand that the answers are not in your mind, how to calm yourself. You can feel them in your mind. So cognitively, if you don't feel calm, yes, the doorway is through your body, through your nervous system. So that's a great start actually, because that tells me that you understand something really important here. The fact that what happens in the mind is just part of the story. It's all about calming your body and your nervous system. So thinking about yourself in the context of the nervous system. So how do you calm your nervous system? The way you calm your nervous system is through something called a glimmer. So most of us understand a concept of a trigger. So we get triggered. Our nervous system gets triggered into the stress response. So anxiety or various forms of that, or depression. More often and most likely it's a combination of things. It's a volume of things. You're way too resilient and too strong to be triggered by one thing. Some people are, but that's very rare. But a glimmer is the opposite to trigger. So it's something that calms your nervous system, and it's very, very specific to you. One of the things people don't understand about triggers and glimmers is what's a trigger to me can be a glimmer to you, and also the other way around is the case. So things that calm you down can trigger me. Okay, so this is my sort of invitation here for you to become really curious and to become a student of your nervous system. So first thing you want to think is overwhelm. So your nervous system reads your environment constantly, right? So if you are exposed to many environments during the day, you speak to a lot of people, you do a lot of things, that you're constantly in the doing mode, there could be a moment when you overwhelm yourself. And there is, because every nervous system has its capacity. Depending how sensitive you are, not sensitive in the way that everything triggers you, but you are quite an open person, you quite an interactive person, right? Because you want to be that way, because maybe your job requires this, or maybe you have children, etc. But your nervous system has its own capacity. And the fact that you're triggered and you're not calm, it's a sign, it's a message that your nervous system has been overwhelmed. You overwhelmed it. Without conscious awareness, obviously, this is not something we do, but this is something we can actually control. So it's very unique to you. And you know, the opposite is also true. Your nervous system also needs to be stimulated enough, right? So if you're spending your day or your days indoors because, I don't know, you're spending the whole weekend in your pajamas, that's great. And you're doing only sort of passive things and you're not moving your body, then your nervous system can get overwhelmed with that as well. And that can get triggered into some other reaction, stress response. Again, it's very, very unique. You won't find the answer unless you ask yourself this question repeatedly and you eliminate everything you can think of. But I want you to go about the feeling, because the thing that actually are triggers, usually they trigger us, and you can connect with the feeling in your body, because your body will tell you. If something makes you feel expansive, it gives you energy. If something makes you feel full, and dense, that is a precursor to being triggered into stress response. So you really need to, again, be curious here and be really inward orientated rather than outward, right? You really need to think about, okay, so if I want to calm my nervous system, you also need to adjust your strategy, let's call it, to your day, and you need to think what has happened up until this point when you're not calm and you're triggered. Was it a confrontation? Was it too much talking? Did you argue with someone, or including online, right? This is where you do the opposite. So you put your phone down, you go for a walk. Your nervous system calms down after 15 minutes of walking, for example. So if you can go for a walk, go for a walk. A full sensory experience for the body, a hot shower, where you can actually calm your cortisol and your adrenaline. A bath, that's not always possible, but something that is rhythmical and long enough for your nervous system to get a message. To get a message, you need to let your body know that you are safe and it can enter a calm state, right? And just so you know, you cannot outthink your state. So if you're trying to pull it apart with your mind, I just need to be calm, I just need to be calm. As soon as your body enters a survival state or anxiety, let's keep it simple, you locked in, and it's a full sensory experience, and it's your physiology. Your heart is racing, you're shaking, there's a lot of energy in your system, there's cortisol, adrenaline, etc. So you can't really do too much with your thoughts here. That's why when people are having a tantrum, no one ever calms down when you tell them to calm down. Because your nervous system doesn't listen to words, it listens to experiences. It's an experience processing machine. So you have given it too much, you have reached your capacity, you're at the threshold, you locked in into survival mode. So therefore you need to think physiology, movement, a full bodily experience, and this is how you calm yourself down. One of the things that it's worth paying attention to is stop the overload. So don't feed anything, don't try to analyze it, don't try to read about it, don't do anything with your mind. Think about your body and getting into your body. Obviously exercise, obviously some kind of, any rhythmical movement will do. Stretching will do, changing your position, shaking your hands. So basically giving your body a sign, a message, a feedback, right? Taking control of your experiences so that experiences can buffer the stress response. That is the shortest answer. And again, become a student of your nervous system, because your nervous system is really your human operational system, is actually your boss. Unless you make your boss your friend and you start to communicate in a respectful way, because your nervous system does an amazing job for you. It actually does the living for you. So good things come when you are calm. You can be productive, you can feel joy, you can feel love, you can be creative only when you're calm. When your body is stressed, when your nervous system is in survival mode, you're only going to be seeking soothing behaviors. So you're going to go for food that you know it's harming you. You're going to go for drinks, you're going to go for a lot of behaviors that are about releasing energy and dumping the energy, because anxiety is about excess energy in your system. This is why the craving is so difficult to stop when you're stressed. Become curious, Be positive about it, and know one thing: you are the only person who can do it. You have that autonomy. No one can do it for you. And you are the only person with permission to do something about your nervous system. So don't seek out being rescued from this. You can get help, of course, and you can ask for help, but nervous system doesn't really care about things you do once a week, and it's all about everyday experiences and how they accumulate and how they make you feel and what sort of impact they have on how you feel, for good or for bad, right? So if we do a lot of good things to our nervous system, then it pays us back. This is when you're calm, this is when you're joyous, this is when you can relax, right? Become curious, become a student of yourself, learn the rules of your nervous system, or learn the needs of your nervous system. And this is where the work is, and this is the lightest work, and the only work that is worth doing, because this is where you can be in control of your inner experience and of your life. Thank you very much. If you find it helpful, drop a comment, connect with me somehow. I do have a course called Inner Work Manual, where I talk about and teach you how to understand the needs of your nervous system and your mental health and your mind. So check that out later. In the meantime, thank you for being here, and never give up on yourself.